Hello, Abigail here with the tarot energy readings for Libra season, Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, my Capricorns. So this is your fellow cardinal season. This season is square your season, so there is just naturally a little bit of an element of tension. When we have Libra season, you will be asked to face things. This is not like specific to this year. This is specific to astrology. But I don't hate squares. Squares get things done. The sign of Libra in comparison to you, same with Aries, same technically with the opposition with Cancer, forces you or encourages you, depending on how you look at it, to face certain things. And so that is the vibe of this season. There are some really great things happening astrologically. You can watch my astrology video to get the full rundown, but we are going to have Mars in domicile, which is exalted in your sign. So there's kind of a influence that Mars has over Capricorn that will make this more enjoyable. Also, we will have Venus domicile. While Venus will be squaring some of your stuff, if you are a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising, it does mean Venus is also in its, favorite rulership. So it's this moment where, Venus gets to be itself, especially after it's been in Virgo. This doesn't happen till mid-season, but it does create a really great moment. I do want to just point out, just for those of you who don't want to watch the astrology video, beginning of Libra season, very testy. We have a bunch of air trines, opposition to Neptune, so just know that going in. Also, rest of 2025 is a bit testy just because of everything having to pass through those degrees. We're going to get the Pluto squares as we head through Scorpio eventually, and then we will end up having the Uranus opposition. And then also the Pluto, not Pluto, but the Saturn and Neptune squares. We head through Sagittarius. And then once we get into Capricorn, things are going to be a little less bumpy, but it's still a lot. So just take that in. I know my Capricorns kind of like to know what's ahead, even if it's rough. So I'm letting you, giving you a little insight into kind of the end of 2025, because I know a lot of us are beleaguered after eclipse season. It's not going to be as intense as eclipse season, but it is going to be challenging. So just log that away. Moving on, getting into your archetype card, we have the stone, which I think is beautifully appropriate for Capricorn. Capricorn, in a way, is the rock of the earth signs, is the most enduring of the earth elements. Now, Taurus can definitely, put you in for a run with your money, but Taurus is still ruled by Venus. You are ruled by Saturn. So while time is often the most challenging lesson for my Capricorns, it is also your best friend. Most of my Capricorns and Capricorns rising, things get better as they age. And by age, I mean like get into like the second half of life. So if you are a younger Capricorn rising, things do get better and you age really well. Even my most beleaguered older Capricorn people who do still kind of have some bumps in the road look flawless and usually have a feature that is very Saturnian. It's not always the bone structure, it's not always the skin. One that I saw recently had the most gorgeous hair I've ever seen. So there's just a variety of ways in which time is on your side. And with the stone, this is about endurance. I do love that the stone is kind of encased here within a circle, within a square, within a triangle. It is about this ability to handle and encompass many things. It's also the reminder that stones don't change quickly. It takes time to be molded if you are made from stone. So this season is about you kind of standing firm and solidifying who you are and what you want. Now, in the cards, we do have some what I would consider more mutable energy, some energy that flows a little faster. But, rocks can be moved. They just don't change shape. So, or at least very quickly. So this is a moment for you to really nestle down into who you are. It's also a moment to recognize that you are protected. There is a hardness to you that is a form of protection. Of course, like anything else, it can get in the way, being a little too hard. But I think for whoever's listening, this is about recognizing that you do have this strength and endurance. And while as a fellow earth sign, it can get exhausting to endure, this season is going to bring out the best in you. while also letting your ability to move and change be highlighted without altering your kind of core essence. So it is the time to kind of be true, this Libra season, to be true to self, to be true to the core of you, to this kind of internal stone, if you will. Starting off, we do get a Page of Wands, which is why I said we have some mutable energy within this, but the pages to me are less of necessarily transmuting something to make it new, although it can be for something external, but on an internal side, it's also a return to the past in some ways. It's a return to a fire that maybe you have lost track of. It's reigniting the flame of interest and creativity. I love how joyful and wild this lovely, like, Page of Wands is in the best possible way. This is a celebratory, free card. And this season of Libra, while you will be facing challenges, it's also about how do you manage those challenges? How do you embrace who you are within the structures that you're kind of forced to be in? Um, it also makes me wonder if there isn't some kind of past hobby or interest or desire that's coming back to the surface, and now it's time for you to take it seriously. Not that you maybe didn't before, but that now you have all the tools and stuff that you need, and now the inspiration as well. Then moving into our very lovely Page of Swords, we have the pages. You know, it is about flexibility and insight, but most of all, it is about curiosity. Curiosity about yourself, curiosity about the world, curiosity about why things are the way they are, and using your curiosity to empower and build and create with, rather than needing a product. I think especially in pop astrology, y'all get labeled the OG capitalist with like a stamp on your forehead. And it's just not true. Capricorn, the reason it's kind of been misinterpreted and maybe taken over by this kind of idea is that Capricorns are alchemists. You transmute energy into something else. You are the first of the winter season in the northern hemisphere. You are, the entrance into a time of thought and understanding. And that kind of stoic intensity that is often ascribed to Saturn is misinterpreted as capitalism. Capitalism is insidious and sneaky and manipulative, which aren't technically Capricorn traits, or any positive traits of the zodiac. Although Geminis can be sneaky, but it's more of like a healthy Gemini is fun sneaky, and not take over your life and ruin it sneaky. But you are more than just what you can produce. And I think it's time to remember the creativity of Capricorn, the magic and the power of Capricorn outside of the construct of what you can give to others. I do think in Libra season, you might encounter these themes of what others want from you. And it's your turn to say, you know what? No, it's my turn to be a child. It's my turn to throw off adultification. It's my turn to center myself instead of, being in constant use for the progress and the stability of others. We also have the Four of Swords, so you will be called to rest. This Four of Swords is a little more painful, unfortunately. I think there is a cost if you don't rest. You will be forced into rest if you don't. This is kind of, in this deck, this is kind of the smaller octave to me of our Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, I was thinking more Ten of Swords, but Ten of Wands also works. Spirit, just throwing that in there. Ten of Wands, Ten of Swords energy, this overwhelm. If you do not heed the four and sit back when maybe it's uncomfortable to sit back, I think you will end up kind of shoved into rest through something like burnout or the removal of something that is causing you to overwhelm yourself. So rest before it crushes some dreams, and forces you to take a step back outside of your control. Then we have the Hierophant. I love when this card comes up. It is the card of Taurus, a reminder that we are going to get Uranus back into Taurus by the end of the year. It's going to be testy, to say the least. But also, this card is about mentorship and about coming in and claiming your power and your mental ownership. So, this is a time when your thoughts need to be your own, and you also need to start to share your ideas and your knowledge with others. It's a great way to keep the energy flowing. It's also a good way to follow your path. Some of you are being called into mentorship, some of you are being called into positions of being an advisor or someone who is called into places as a specialist to collaborate on stuff. And this can also be in small ways where like friends need your help or advice, etc. So this is a time for you to harness that and to kind of move into a belief of self where you're comfortable giving knowledge and information out. It might be a bit of a stretch because we do have all these pages. You might have to kind of stretch into this position as a mentor, but definitely don't turn aside those opportunities when they come. And last but not least, we have the King of Wands. There's a lot of power in Libra season for you. There's a lot of opportunity to stand your ground and to say what you want when you want it and do it the way you want it. Many of my Capricorns are good at this, but they often do it because they are in service to something else. This is more about activating for yourself, boundaries, power, clarifications with people who are poking said boundaries and maybe pushing us a little too far. This is also maybe a moment where you need some space. The King of Wands can be very vibrant and very spicy, and maybe you need some room to spread these lovely phoenix peacock wings. And I love the representation of that imagery in this card. It's such a celebration of the beauty of the phoenix combined with a peacock. Um, so, yeah, take that in. You are a vibrant phoenix peacock, and you might need some space to burn this season and to glow and to shine and to transmute. And so give yourself the space that you need for that. Anyways, my loves, that is my message for you for Libra season. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my work and hang in there. It's going to be a lovely culmination of a lot of things for you and a moment of freedom as well as a moment of resilience. But have a blessed Libra season, and I'll see you in a different space and time.